What was one of your worst reads of 2023? And why was ACOTAR most likely the worst of them all? I swear, at this point I have a love-hate relationship or a complicated relationship with Miss SJ Maas, okay? I officially read 76 books last year, and the longest book I read was A Court of Silver Flames, which is part of the ACOTAR series, and I just can't believe that when I did my wrap-up, the author I read most last year repetitively was Sara J Maas. But from an author who has multiple series and they're all giant and have multiple books, I guess I shouldn't be that surprised. But now it looks like I'm just a freaking Sara J Maas fan and I just love her so much, and no. So I can't believe I just read ACOTAR last year. It feels like forever ago. I did that whole rant around SpongeBob worm that Feyre had to fight and just the inconsistencies throughout this story and just awful dialogue. But I was told it would get better, and honestly, chapter 54, guys, that was good. It was a really good book, I can't lie. I really enjoyed it, but I still have my reservations and I still feel like I have complicated feelings about this author. Still, I did start reading her first series ever, which is Throne of Glass. If you didn't know, she wrote this book when she was 16, and let me just say that that first book I read was already 1,000 times better than Miss Feyre darling over here, okay? I got into it right away. I love the characters, and I could definitely see so many of these characters as blueprints for characters later on, like Dorian and Rhysand, for example. The author really seems to have a thing for dark-haired, blue-eyed men that are cheeky and just borderline a-holes, but that we still love them, we still like them for some reason. So because this author also loves changing up all the covers all the time, I had to put in an order for Throne of Glass right before they went out of print. Oh Lord. And we're gonna unbox them here as I tell you a little bit more about them. This is the heaviest package ever. It's fitting for a Sara J Maas book. Dude, I ordered these like months ago, so they better be in good condition because I'm pretty sure the return date and the window for that is closed. I can't even lift these right now, but we're gonna try. I think I failed to mention I ordered this series in hardcover because I'm a hardcover girl and I'm obviously nuts. There she is, the whole set that is now out of print. Hardcover, jeez. I will be continuing the Sara J Maas, I think they called it the Maasverse, whatever. Someone over on Instagram did ask, will I continue to read Crescent City? Yes, I do plan to actually read Crescent City. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself. I don't know why I keep saying yes, I'll continue this. Maybe because she does have pretty interesting worlds. I'm not gonna lie, A Court of Mist and Fury did get to me, but I would say that was the only book that I really liked. Now I know we have a lot of fans out there of this author and also a lot of haters. You may be wondering, why do I have a complicated relationship or feelings about this author? And it's a lot of things. When I finally read A Court of Mist and Fury, I realized this is honestly true fantasy. Like, now I realize why it is peak romantasy, just so good because of that world building and the lore and the different creatures and how emotional it all is. And honestly, yeah, she's a really great writer. Book one was definitely an absolute trash, and I stand by that. As for A Court of Silver Flames, I still have a lot of issues with that book. Look, I'm not out here being a Nesta hater. I just feel like there wasn't really much answered on there. I still have so many questions, like, why are you all up Elaine's butt? Why did you still choose to react this way when Feyre was like freaking 7 or 8 when she started hunting for all of you? I still feel like a lot wasn't answered. I strongly believe that the author changed her mind later on in the series and had to somehow make it work. That's maybe my hot take, but it just doesn't feel like Nesta was properly set up for that book. It feels more like we forgave her for all the things she did from Feyre's transformation and on. You know, like the moment Feyre finally became Fae, Nesta kept doing crazy crap. So did Elaine, okay? They all did crazy stuff. But I really feel like A Court of Silver Flames forgives all of Nesta's post-Fae issues and awful things that she did. Not really everything she did as a human. That's just my thought. But as for A Throne of Glass, I heard it makes you cry. There are multiple ways that you can read this series, and my other hot take is is that I'm definitely going out of publishing order. I want emotional punch. I want to feel something. I want to cry. I am taking the quote-unquote emotional route, and I do plan to do the tandem read. I started with Throne of Glass, and I was just amazed that this is something she wrote at 16. Like, that's amazing. And how is it better than ACOTAR? A lot of things are better than ACOTAR is all I'm saying. These books are humongous. They're like 800 pages or more or something. I don't know. I don't even know what's gonna happen, but I can probably expect my wrap up to also showcase this author as if it's like my most favorite author in the world. I'm doing the thing. I'm listening to readers telling me to read this series and give my thoughts. As a stats nerd, that just makes me so sad. But we will be continuing this. I set a new reading goal this year. This year I'm setting it at 75. Based off of my stats this year, I think I'll be able to manage it, but we'll see if I ever get to 100. I'm still thinking up some reading goals. Like, do I want to keep a little reading journal? Because that seems kind of fun. I did find one over on the Amazons that I was eyeing. I'm not sure. Reading diverse genres and all of that I will be continuing. And if you're curious about all these shenanigans and reading goals and in-depth reviews, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're not yet subscribed. The current book I'm reading right now, which would be my second book of the year, is actually a literary classic, magic realism and political fiction in there. It's already super different than my normal love for fantasy, but let's be real. My first book of 2024 was a YA fantasy. If you have good ideas of a solid reading goal, let me know. I feel like I need some fresh ideas to figure out what I want 2024 to be, other than reading diverse genres, reading at least 75 books, continuing the Maasverse monstrosity and the journey of this because I don't like myself maybe, or I don't know why. Okay, why am I doing this? As a fantasy lover, moving me, great world building, all these amazing characters that feel so dimensional, it's something that I have to admire. I love that genre and she did an incredible job. At the same time, I don't appreciate her inconsistencies with the skin color of her characters. You know, one moment they're pale, the next time they're not. Even if they are dark-skinned or whatever, she keeps approving character artwork that is officially licensed that doesn't back that up. And I'm like, woman, pick a side, stand firm, stand your ground. Just seems like this author is more about the bag, and there's a lot of fights in this fandom about character skin color. And in that instance, I blame no one else but the author, because at the end of the day, it's someone that they've created. And if they're okay with characters being presented in different skin colors and different ethnicities, even after she said in the book it's one way and then changes it to another, well, of course the fandom is gonna be mixed up and not understand what the characters are actually supposed to look like. And now you may wonder, why does that matter, Joanna? Why do we care? It is fictional. And honestly, it's because we rarely see BIPOC characters that are incredible, that are dimensional, that are the main character and the main moment in books. Now, did she have to write them in there? No, but she still did. And that's what I'm saying. She still chose to pick characters that are of a darker skin tone or a tan skin tone, whatever. The point is, they are not non-BIPOC, they are BIPOC, and yet she won't stand by that. And so that's a huge issue I have in there. Other than the plot holes, the inconsistencies in characters, just making things work for the sake of a plot, even though you're like, that is not what you presented, so what are you trying to do here? At the end of the day, I can enjoy a book or I can dislike a book and be very open-minded and still criticize even books that I enjoy that other people criticize. I'm like, you know, those are some valid points there. So these are just some points I'm making on her ACOTAR series so far. We'll see how her Throne of Glass series stands. I really hope her characters are more consistent, you know, from their characteristics to their actual persona, to their arcs. I just hope it makes more sense. I hope that I'm more convinced, and I hope that she's more authentic in the way that she wrote them and stands by that. Because if I have to read one more thing about the skin tone of Rhysand and all the Bat Boys, I will riot, okay? I will riot and throw everything to the trash. I also look forward to doing more unhauls on this channel. It is something I have really enjoyed watching from other booktubers. I'm definitely gonna have to do a big unhaul video because there are definitely books that I want to get rid of that were so disappointing. And even though I didn't do a worst/most disappointing books wrap up, I think I will be highlighting some books that I didn't like as I'm unhauling them. And I think you'll be surprised by how upset I am by some series that are so freaking popular and are just such a disappointment. I am also looking to buddy read these or to talk with people that absolutely love these books. No spoilers, please, no spoilers. Feel free to DM me over on Instagram or add me on Goodreads so you can see where I'm at on my journey. Happy New Year's, y'all, and may the odds be ever in our favor, because this is gonna be a very long series to get to finally get to Crescent City. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!